Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Pearlstein, and this is Second Opinion. Today we're going to talk about something quite historic in the profession of chiropractic, and that is a particular lawsuit called Wilk versus AMA. Now, Wilk was one of 5 chiropractors who sued the American Medical Association for restraint of trade, specifically for violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act. This really is an incredible story, and I want to begin it by giving you some background on the chiropractic profession itself. So chiropractic began as a formal profession in 1895 in the state of Iowa. Now, since that time, 1895, all 50 states have licensed chiropractors as doctors, and the last one to do so was Louisiana in 1974. And also since that time, people have gravitated towards chiropractic. People have seen that it produces good results, and they've told other people, and more people have taken chiropractic on seriously, looking at it as a valuable health profession. It has helped them, and it has built it to become the 3rd largest healthcare profession in the world, and that's serious business. On the other hand, the American Medical Association, also growing through the decades and becoming very, very powerful, looked over at chiropractic and said, you know, we don't like this. We don't think that chiropractic is a viable profession. We actually think it's a danger to the public, and we need to do something about it. So, over time, this actually became a war between the two professions, and the first salvo in this war was fired in 1962 when the Iowa Medical Society created the Iowa Plan. Now, the Iowa Plan had a stated intention, and the stated intention of the Iowa Plan was to contain and eliminate the chiropractic profession. That's very straightforward, very clear, no beating around the bush there, to contain and eliminate the chiropractic profession. And the Iowa Plan had certain principles. Certain things they believed in. They believed that health insurance should not cover chiropractic, and also that a work injury should not be covered if treated by a chiropractor. And they also believed that chiropractors should not have any hospital privileges. Another thing they believed in is that they believed that chiropractic schools students should be discouraged from going to chiropractic schools. And they also felt that ethical complaints against chiropractors should be encouraged. So here's all these things, and on top of that, they felt that the plan should be quiet, private, secret, in the background. The public should not know that this plan was implemented and that this belief structure was in place. Now, the American Medical Association, of course, loved it, and in 1963, a year later, they actually came out with the Committee on Quackery. And the records do show that before it was called the Committee on Quackery, it had another name, but that was meant to remain quiet, not public. And that committee was called the Committee to Eliminate Chiropractic. So you may be thinking, well, this is incredible. How could this be? This is from the transcripts of the trial. When the AMA was subpoenaed in this lawsuit, all this documentation came out. So I'm not making it up, and you can dig it up online. There are transcripts from the trial, and this is just a small little bit of the incredible information that came out about how the American Medical Association felt about the chiropractic profession. So the Committee on Quackery was the working arm of the Iowa Plan, and there were certain tasks for that committee to do. And one of them was to disseminate biased anti-chiropractic literature to the media for public's consumption and also to the medical profession. Also, the committee was tasked with finding up, digging up anything positive about chiropractic and suppressing it so that the public and the medical profession would not know anything good about chiropractic. But the biggest thing that the committee did was they said to the medical doctors, if you refer a patient to a chiropractor, or if you accept a referral of a patient from a chiropractor, or in any way professionally associate with a chiropractor, you're going to lose your hospital privileges. And I think you could probably understand that losing hospital privileges would be a big deal to a medical doctor, given what hospitals can provide and do provide. So losing hospital privileges is not something that a medical doctor would want. And the icing on the cake in all of this planning was in 1966, the American Medical Association formally adopted a resolution that said that chiropractic was an unscientific cult. That's pretty amazing, but that's what they said, and that was for public consumption, of course. So you can see that with the Iowa plan and with the Committee on Quackery and everything that was happening, that over the years, slowly a noose was put around the neck of chiropractic and slowly squeezed. And you can kind of understand with all this, the public is going to start to question whether they should go to a chiropractor. Prospective students are going to question whether they should become a chiropractor. And of course, medical doctors are going to want to have nothing to do with chiropractors with the threat of hospital privilege loss hanging over their heads. So you could see that's the containment, to isolate the profession of chiropractic, so eventually nobody goes to it and there's no new chiropractors and eventually shrivels up and dies. It's quite a brilliant plan. The chiropractors in question, Chester Wilk was the one who started it, and he gathered 4 others. And they said, we have to do something about this. They could sense that there was some sort of boycott. In fact, they believed that there was a conspiracy, that there was a concerted, organized effort to try to eliminate the profession of chiropractic. And they believed it so strongly that they actually filed a lawsuit, not only against the American Medical Association, but also against the American Hospital Association, the American College of Physicians, the American College of Surgeons, and also the Joint Commission on the Accreditation of Hospitals. This was truly a David and Goliath situation, where you're thinking, how can these 5 chiropractors go up against these formidable, powerful organizations? Well, they felt that it needed to be done. It had to be done, otherwise the chiropractic profession could die. So it was that important. And in 1976 they filed and the trial began. And what happened was that in 1981 the trial concluded. And the chiropractors lost. It's pretty unbelievable that they lost. But their attorneys were sharp. And their attorneys appealed on a couple of technicalities. And the technicalities were that there had been improper jury selection, and that there had also been prejudicial and irrelevant information that had been admitted into the trial. And you may think that, well, that's superfluous stuff. That really doesn't matter, but it really does. In the legal world, that's major. And the appeals judge looked at it and said, you're right, you get another trial. Now, originally the trial was going to be a jury trial, and there were going to be monetary damages assessed, against the loser, but that was all dropped eventually. So the trial began again in 1983. And this time it concluded in 1987 with the chiropractors winning. The chiropractors actually won. David beat Goliath. This is really incredible, a wonderful, incredible victory for the profession of chiropractic. The judge stated that, yes, the AMA was found guilty of trying to contain and eliminate the chiropractic profession. It was found guilty of restraint of trade. It was found guilty specifically of violating Section 1 of the Sherman Antitrust Act. And the judge said, you must stop all of these activities immediately. So, what did the AMA do? Well, they still believed that chiropractic was a danger to the public. And they appealed the decision to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, you know what? We agree with the appellate court. We're not hearing your case. So what did the AMA do? They appealed twice more. And in 1990, it all concluded after these 3 appeals in which the Supreme Court said, you're not listening. We agree with the appellate court, and, you lose. We're not going to hear your case. So the AMA kind of slinked away. Now, prior to the end of the trial, the AMA had, in my opinion, wisely rescinded the hospital privilege thing over the medical doctors' heads. And they said that if you want to associate with a chiropractor, it's okay to do so. We will not take your hospital privileges away. They did not say that they approved of it. They said that it was okay to do so. We'll let you do. We won't have the penalty if you do so. So there was sort of like a grudging acceptance. Now, in truth, what has happened since that time, and it's been well over 20 years, is that the American Medical Association has more subtly discriminated against other healthcare professions. In fact, I believe it's 2006 that the AMA created a resolution that said that any healthcare profession who wants to expand their scope really needs to go before the AMA. The AMA is against it, and they really need to bring it to the AMA to see and have the AMA judge if it is a good thing or not a good thing. This is pretty audacious thinking, and the same goes for in the state that I practice in New Mexico. Over the past dozen years, the medical community has tried to legislate what they call a super board, in which any healthcare profession in the state of New Mexico, who has their own state boards, if they wanted to expand their scope, they'd have to go before the super board, and the super board, run by guess who, would decide if it was a good thing or not a good thing. And if they decided it wasn't a good thing, then there would be no legislation. So they wanted to act as a go-between. And the point is that the American Medical Association continues to act like they are at the top of the food chain, like that there is a food chain, and that everyone is below and subordinate to them and needs to answer to them, that they know more than everybody else, and we need to look to them for guidance. Oh, I have my opinions about that. In fact, my opinion is that we're really all on the same level. We're really all equal. We have tons of knowledge, and we should be sharing the knowledge, and no one is better than anyone else. And if we did freely share the knowledge that we have, the patients would be the better off for it. So that's my opinion. So I hope that you have learned something here. In fact, my guess is that you probably never even knew anything about the lawsuit, but now you do, and now you know a little something about how medical doctors and chiropractors relate and the history of that relatedness. So again, I hope that this video has been important to you and has meant something to you. If you're on my Facebook page, please like it. I would appreciate that. And I would love to hear your comments if it's on YouTube or Facebook. I would love to hear your comments about what you thought of the topic, the presentation, and also, Second Opinion is a video series. I've got lots of ideas of videos. I'd love to hear what you would like me to talk about, and I would be happy to entertain that and create a video for that. I want to dialogue with you on these topics about chiropractic, health, fitness, wellness. It's going to go on for quite a long time, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. So again, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope you got a lot out of it. I'm Dr. Steve Pearlstein, and this is Second Opinion.